Hello dear student, welcome to our new session of vector, and this is your fifth lecture for vector. In last lecture we studied about vector addition, in which we already discussed about triangle law of vector addition. Then we will discuss about parallelogram law of vector addition through graphical method, and we will already discuss triangle law of vector addition through analytical method. Now we will discuss parallelogram law of vector addition through analytical method. So write down parallelogram law of vector addition. Parallelogram law of vector addition through analytical method. Write down parallelogram law of vector addition through analytical method. So our next topic is parallelogram law of vector addition through analytical method. I hope you all aware with parallelogram law, in which we'll already discuss that parallelogram law says if we have two vectors, let's suppose I'll write here, consider two vectors, A vector and B vector, A vector and B vector in any arbitrary direction. So we have two vectors, my dear student. One is our A vector and other is B vector. So parallelogram law says that join first vector tail with second vector tail. So what we have to do, we'll join first vector tail with second vector tail and then complete the structure of parallelogram. So I'll join first vector tail with second vector tail. So let us join. This is your first vector A vector and this is your second vector. Let's suppose this is B vector. This is our A vector and this is our B vector. So I'll join first vector head with second vector, first vector tail with second vector tail. So this is A vector and this is B vector. I'll join first vector tail with second vector tail. Now what we have to do? We have to complete the structure of parallelogram. So this is the complete structure of parallelogram. Now we know that if I'll form a line from the point where two tail can meet, the vector of two tails is meeting, so this line having magnitude as well as direction is called resultant vector. So I'll write R vector is equals to A vector plus B vector. Now I'll give name of the line. It is OP. Write down OPQS. OPQ, and this point is S. Now what we have to do, my dear student, we have to drop a perpendicular from this point S at point N. So let's suppose I'll drop a perpendicular from S at point N. If you are seeing that this angle is 90 degrees, so I'll write here, drop a perpendicular from S on point N. Drop a perpendicular from S on point N. Now see, my dear student, if we are seeing here that let's suppose angle between P vector and Q vector is theta. Let angle between P vector and Q vector is equals to theta. If you are observing the thing exactly, then you will feel this line and this line. I mean OP and PS are parallel to each other. So I'll write here OQ and PS are parallel. So if this angle is theta, then this must also be equals to theta. Next, moving forward, this line, that is OP, is parallel to QS. I'll write here OP and QS are again parallel. So if OP vector, magnitude of OP vector is A, so the magnitude of QS is also equals to A. So I'll write here it is also equals to QS. Similarly, this line and this line, I mean OQ and PS are parallel. So if the magnitude of OQ vector is B, then this line and this line is if parallel, then I'll write here magnitude of OQ is equals to B, which is equals to PS. I hope you all are understanding. What I am asking is, we have two vectors. We know that parallelogram law of vector addition says that join two vector tail. So we have A vector and B vector. We'll join the tail of both vector and form a line along the diagonal and give it the direction. So this line represents itself as resultant vector, and resultant vector is equals to A vector plus V vector. Now see my dear student, this line and this line, I mean OP and QS are parallel. So if the magnitude of OP is A, then the magnitude of QS is also A. Similarly, OQ and PS is again parallel. So if OQ is making angle theta, then this line PS is also making angle theta. Similarly, if the magnitude of OQ is B, then the magnitude of PS is also B, as both the lines are parallel to each other. I hope you all are understanding my point. Now see my dear student, angle SPN is theta. Similarly, angle QOP is also theta. Write down angle SPN is equals to theta. Similarly, angle QOP is also theta. QOP is also equals to theta. I hope you all are understanding my point, my dear student. Now see, we have a right angle triangle PSN. Write down, in right angle triangle SPN, in triangle SPN, we'll write sin theta and cos theta. It is very similar to triangle law of vector addition. Very similar to triangle law of vector addition, because in triangle law of vector addition as well, we form a small triangle and a big triangle. From small triangle, we will find the value of sin theta as well as value of cos theta. So sin theta, we know that the formula is Pandit Bhadri Prasad Har Har Bhole Sona Chandi Tole. So perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Now see, we have a triangle, it is SPN, perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So perpendicular is, my dear student, SN, and hypotenuse is PS. So sin theta must be equal to SN by PS, and we know the value of PS is B. So I'll write here Sn by B. This is the value of sin theta. From this equation, we'll find the value of Sn. So Sn is equals to, B comes this side, it is B sin theta. In same triangle, we'll find cos theta as well. So try to find the value of cos theta. So cos theta is equals to, we know that cos theta is base upon hypotenuse. So base upon hypotenuse. In this triangle, base is Pn, my dear student. So Pn upon hypotenuse is PS. So PS, and we know that the value of PS is B. So cos theta is equals to Pn by B. So from this equation, we'll get Pn is equals to B cos theta. I hope you all understanding my point. Sn is equals to B sin theta and Pn is equals to B cos theta. Now I'll use Pythagoras theorem in triangle S. ONS. Now use Pythagoras by Pythagoras theorem in triangle ONS. ONS. I am using Pythagoras theorem in triangle ONS as OS is unidentical. So OS square is equals to AN square plus NS square. So I'll write here OS square is equals to ON square plus NS square. Instead of ON, I'll write OP plus PN. So I'll write here, instead of ON, we'll write OP plus PN. I hope you all are getting my point. OP plus PN. So OS square is equals to OP plus PN square plus NS square. Or we can say SN square. NS, SN is one and same thing. So OS square is equals to OP. The value of OP is A, as magnitude of OP is A. So I'll write here A plus now PN. PN is B cos theta. So B cos theta and it is square plus NS or SN is one and same thing. So it is B sin theta and its square. Now I'll open the bracket as we find squares. So my dear student, the answer becomes OS square is equals to A plus B square. We know that the value of A plus B square is A square plus B square, that is B square cos square theta, plus 2AB plus 2AB. So AB cos theta plus B sin theta and its square. So it is B square sin square theta. Now see, B square cos square theta plus B square sin square theta. I'll solve this here. So it is B square cos square theta plus B square sin square theta. From this equation, we'll get common B square. So we'll get, my dear student, B square get common, we'll get cos square theta plus sin square theta. Now we know the value of cos square theta plus sin square theta, it is equal to 1. So what we'll get? B square into 1, so it is only B square. So instead of B square cos square theta plus B square sin square theta, we'll only write B square. So it is OS square, which is equals to A square plus now it is B square plus 2AB cos theta. So OS is equals to under root A square plus B square plus plus 2AB and cos theta. This is the value of magnitude of resultant vector. Magnitude of resultant vector. My dear student, I hope you all are getting my point. This is how we'll find magnitude of resultant vector through parallelogram law of vector addition. Parallelogram law of vector addition and triangle law of vector addition are very similar to each other. All the processes are same and the result is also same. So magnitude of two vector is always equals to under root A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta, where A is first vector, B is second vector and theta is angle between first vector and second vector. I hope you all are understanding how we'll proceed. Now moving forward, let's suppose this resultant vector is making some angle, let's say beta. Now we wish to find direction of resultant vector. So write down direction of resultant vector. So we know that already we'll discuss triangle law of vector addition, in which I'll tell you how to find the direction of resultant vector. So direction of resultant vector, write down next heading, direction of resultant vector. direction of resultant vector. So direction of resultant vector means find the tan angle of the resultant vector. So this is your resultant vector and this resultant vector is making angle beta. So we'll find tan beta. So tan beta is equals to, we know that tan theta is perpendicular upon base. So it is perpendicular upon base. Now tan beta is equals to, see, we have a triangle here. In triangle OSN, I'll write here in triangle OS and N. Now tan beta. So perpendicular is SN and base is ON. So I'll write here SN by ON. Now see, tan beta is equals to SN by ON. So ON is basically OP by PN. OP by PN. So instead of SN, we know the value, it is Q sin theta, or we can say B sin theta. So tan beta is equals to B sin theta upon OP. The value of OP is A, so it is A, plus value of PN, we already find it, it is B cos theta. So tan beta, will get tan beta is equals to B sin theta upon A plus B cos theta. So beta is equals to tan inverse B sin theta upon A plus B cos theta. This is the value of direction of resultant vector, my dear student. I hope you all understand how to find triangle law of vector addition through graphical method and through analytical method. Similarly, how to find parallelogram law of vector addition through graphical method as well as analytical method. Now go through the video again and again so that your concept will be built up. Remember one thing, my dear student, either the condition is of triangle law or the condition is of parallelogram law. The resultant vector, or we can say magnitude of resultant vector, on both the condition remains same and the direction of resultant vector on both the condition remains same, which we already prove. In triangle law of vector addition, we'll get resultant vector as under root a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Here a and b is magnitude of first vector and magnitude of second vector. Theta is angle between first vector and second vector, and the direction, it is tan beta, it is equals to b sin theta upon a plus b cos theta. So b means magnitude of second vector, and in sin theta, theta is angle between first vector and second vector. Similarly, upon a plus b cos theta. So a is magnitude of first vector, b is again magnitude of second vector, and theta is angle between a vector and b vector. I hope you all understand what actually we are discussing. Now with this formula, we'll discuss different cases. So write down case 1, write down special case, in which write down case 1. Special case, write down special case. So see, my dear student, first case is, let's suppose we have two vector, case 1. Now we know that the magnitude of resultant vector is under root magnitude of first vector ka square plus magnitude of second vector ka square plus 2 magnitude of first vector, magnitude of second vector, and cos theta, where theta is angle between first vector and second vector. Case 1 is if two vectors a vector and b vector lies in same direction. If two vectors a vector and b vector lies in same direction, my dear student. So if we have two vectors, let's suppose one is a vector and other is b vector. See, both the vector are in same direction, And I already tell you, my dear student, if two vectors are in same direction, then angle between them is 0 degree because both are parallel to each other. So two parallel line carry 0 degree angle. So theta becomes equals to 0. Let's suppose the magnitude of A vector is A and magnitude of B vector is B. So their magnitude of resultant vector is equals to under root A square plus B square plus 2AB and cos theta. So instead of theta, I'll write 0 degree because both the vector are in same direction, and we know that cos 0 is 1. So magnitude of R vector is equals to under root A square plus B square plus 2AB and cos 0 is 1. So I'll write here resultant vector magnitude is equals to A square plus B square plus 2AB. It becomes the formula of A plus B whole square. So resultant vector magnitude is equals to under root A plus B and square root get cancelled. So resultant vector is equals to A plus B. It is very easy. See, my dear student, in this case what we'll discuss is if two vectors are in same direction. If two vectors are in same direction, then add the vector's magnitude, you will get the resultant vector. Now moving forward, we are discussing now case 2. Write down case 2. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, write down case 2. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other. Case second, if two vectors A vector and B vector are perpendicular to each other. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other. Now see, we have two vector, it is A vector and this is your B vector. These two vectors are perpendicular to each other. Either it will be this like this or it will be like this. Not to worry, because this is basically according to parallelogram law of vector addition and this is basically according to triangle law of vector addition, because in this case tail is meeting, in this case head tail is meeting. Still the formula remains same, because either you opt triangle law of vector addition or you opt parallelogram law of vector addition, the resultant vector magnitude remains same on both the cases. So we know that the value of resultant vector magnitude is under root first vector square plus second vector square plus 2 first vector second vector and cos theta, where theta is angle between A vector and B vector. And now we know that if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then the angle must be 90 degree. So magnitude of R vector is equals to under root A square plus B square plus 2AB cos 90, and we know that cos 90 is 0. So this whole value becomes 0. So magnitude of resultant vector, if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, is A square plus B square. This is the value of resultant vector if two vectors are perpendicular to each other. I hope you all are understanding what I am asking is. Now moving to third case. Write down, if two vectors are opposite to each other, or we can say anti-parallel to each other. If two vectors are opposite to each other, case 3. If two vectors are opposite to each other. See, my dear student, I am saying one vector is, let's suppose, in this direction A vector and second vector is in this direction, let's suppose B vector. So if opposite word is not there, if anti-parallel is there, then still you have to understand both the vectors are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So here we have two vectors, dear student, one is A vector and other is B vector. Both the vectors are opposite in direction with each other. So we know that if two vectors are opposite to each other, then between them angle is 180 degree. So here theta is 180 degree. So we know that magnitude of resultant vector, it is equals to magnitude of A vector square plus magnitude of B vector square plus 2 magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector and cos theta. And we know that magnitude of A vector is A and magnitude of B vector is B. So instead of theta, write 180. So resultant vector magnitude is equals to under root A square plus B square plus 2AB cos 180, and we know that cos 180 is minus 1. So resultant vector magnitude is equals to under root A square plus B square plus 2AB, and instead of 180 we'll write minus 1 because we know that cos 180 is minus 1. Now moving forward, it is magnitude of resultant vector is equals to under root A square plus B square minus 2AB. So it forms formula, it is R vector magnitude is equals to under root A minus B square gets cancelled with root, it is A minus B. I hope you all understand what actually the different cases are. Remember my dear student, if two vectors are parallel to each other, then angle between them is 0 degree. Similarly, if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then angle between them is 90 degree. Similarly, if two vectors are opposite in direction with each other, then angle is 180 degree. So resultant vector is, if both the vectors are parallel, then magnitude of resultant vector is A plus B. If both vectors are anti-parallel or we can say opposite in direction, then magnitude of resultant vector is A minus B. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then resultant vector is under root A square plus B square. It is very easy to understand these concepts. I hope dear student, you all understand how we'll proceed this concept. Now moving forward, we'll discuss about product of vector. So write down product of vector, product of two vector, product of two vectors, product of two vectors. This is all about basic vector, my dear student. This is basic vector. And there are lots of law in vector which we'll study after completing first law of motion. Once we'll come in motion in two dimension, or we can say motion in plane, then we'll discuss more about vector. In that situation, in that chapter, we'll discuss all the laws which are related to vector. Now in 5 days, we'll only discuss the basic frame of vector so that we'll understand chapter straight line in motion, or we can say motion in straight line or rectilinear motion, as well as projectile motion, which is also called two-dimensional motion, or we can say motion in plane. So moving forward, write down product of two vectors, product of two vectors, product of two vectors. So dear student, we have two different processes for product of two vector. One is dot product, which is also called scalar product. Why it is called scalar product? Because if you will perform dot product between two vector, then the result will be in scalar form. That's why dot product is also called scalar product. Once again I am repeating, if you will perform dot product between two vector, then the result which comes after dot product of two vector is in terms of scalar quantity. That's why dot product is also called scalar product. And second is our cross product, which is also called vector product, which is also called vector product. And meaning of vector, why beta? Why cross product is considered to be a vector product? Because if you will perform cross product of two vector, then you will get result in form of vector. So that's why we'll say cross product to be vector product and dot product to be scalar product. So moving forward, we'll discuss one by one. First we'll discuss dot product, which is also called scalar product. So write down new heading, scalar product. Scalar product. First is your scalar product, which is also called dot product. Why we'll say this as dot product? Because if we perform, I'll write here, if we perform dot product, if we perform dot product between two vectors, then we get scalar quantity in form of result. That's why this is said to be scalar product, or we can say dot product. Now see, let's suppose we have two vector. Let suppose we have two vectors, A vector and B vector. So my dear student, let's suppose we have two vector, A vector and B vector. Their magnitude are, let's suppose magnitude of A vector is A and magnitude of B vector is B. So if I'll perform dot product between two vector, A vector and B vector, then it will be A vector dot B vector is equals to magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector and cos theta. Remember dear student, this is the formula of dot product. It is magnitude of A vector into magnitude of B vector and cos theta, where theta is angle between two vectors, where theta is angle between two vectors. Here magnitude of A vector is A and magnitude of B vector is B. So I'll write A vector dot B vector is equals to AB cos theta. I hope you all understand what actually dot product is. You have to learn the formula. First of all, you have to learn the formula. So A vector dot B vector is equals to AB cos theta, where theta is angle between A vector and B vector. Write down its special cases. Write down special cases. First case is if two vectors A vector and B vector are in same direction. I am saying we have two vector A vector and B vector and both the vectors are in same direction, my dear students. So let's suppose we have A vector, we have B vector. See, both the vector are in same direction. I'll already tell you, if two vectors are in same direction, then they are considered to be parallel vector, and between two parallel lines angle is 0 degree. So if angle between two vector is 0, I mean if two vectors are in same direction, then angle between them is 0 degree. So A vector dot B vector, it is equals to magnitude of A, magnitude of B and cos theta. Remember, magnitude of A, let's suppose A, and magnitude of B vector, let's suppose it is B. So I'll write A vector dot B vector is equals to AB cos 0, and we know that cos 0 is 1. So A vector dot B vector is equals to AB. Now see, the value of dot product between two vector, if they are in same direction, is positive. Positive. So we'll say this value is maximum. I hope you all understanding. As two vectors are in same direction, then angle between them is 0 degree, and we know that if angle between two vector is 0, then cos 0 is 1. So it is equals to A dot B is equals to AB. This is considered to be positive value. So if, and this value is maximum value, my dear student. So if you want positive maximum value after dot product of two vector, then it is compulsory that both the vectors must lies in same direction. Now moving forward, case 2. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, let's suppose now the two vectors are perpendicular to each other. So one vector is A vector and other vector is, let's suppose my dear student, B vector. Angle between A vector and B vector is 90 degree. So we know that if two vectors are perpendicular, then angle between them is 90 degree. So we'll get A vector dot B vector. Let's suppose magnitude of A vector is A and magnitude of B vector is B. So it is equals to magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector and cos theta. So it is A dot B is equals to AB cos theta, means 90, and we know that cos 90 is 0. So A dot B becomes 0. This is the minimum value of dot product. So my dear student, remember this thing: if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then their dot product is always equals to 0. This is equals to 0, and we'll consider the minimum value of dot product between two vector is 0 if two vectors are perpendicular to each other. Now moving to third case, it is if two vectors are opposite to each other. If two vectors are opposite to each other. So let's suppose we have, this is our A vector and this is our B vector. Both the vectors are opposite to each other. So if both the vectors are opposite to each other, then between them angle is 180 degree, because two vectors are opposite to each other. So the value of theta in this case is 180 degree. So dot product is A vector dot B vector is equals to magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector and cos theta. I hope you all are understanding my point, and some of the student, please try to do by your own. Let's suppose magnitude of A vector is considered to be A and magnitude of B vector is considered to be B. So A, B cos 180 degree, and we know that cos 180 is minus 1. So A vector dot B vector becomes equals to minus AB. It is said to be maximum negative value. So remember my dear student, if two vectors are opposite to each other, then dot product between two vectors give you the negative maximum value. If two vectors are in same direction, then it gives you positive maximum value. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then their dot product is giving the dot product between two vectors is 0, which is considered to be minimum value. Now moving forward, our fourth case. I hope you all aware about acute angle and obtuse angle. I hope you all aware acute angle and obtuse angle. Now see what is acute angle and what is obtuse angle. If I am talking about acute angle, then acute angle means if theta is less than 90 degree. Acute angle means theta is less than 90 degree. Similarly, if I am talking about obtuse angle, then remember theta is greater than 90. One is your acute angle and other is your obtuse angle. Remember my dear student, if I am talking about acute angle, then theta must be less than 90, and if I am talking about obtuse angle, then theta must be greater than 90. Theta must be less than 90 is considered to be acute angle, and if theta is greater than 90, it is considered to be obtuse angle, or we can say it is considered to be in obtuse angle. So theta is less than 90, theta is greater than 90, obtuse angle and acute angle. Now see, we have quadrant system. This is our first quadrant, this is our second quadrant, this is our third quadrant, and this is our fourth quadrant. We know that here angle is 0 degree, here angle is 90, here it is 180, here it is 270, and here it is 360. So see, first quadrant means 0 to 90 and second quadrant means 90 to 180, third quadrant means 180 to 270, and fourth quadrant means 270 to 360. I hope you are aware about these things. This is your first quadrant, this is your second quadrant, this is your third quadrant, and this is your fourth quadrant. If I am talking about acute angle, see, if I am talking about acute angle, then we have a condition that acute angle is less than 90. So we'll say less than 90 means first quadrant. So whenever we are talking about acute angle, remember we are talking about first quadrant. I'll write here, it is considered to be in first quadrant. Similarly, when we are talking about obtuse angle means greater than 90. So greater than 90 means second quadrant. So I'll write here, for obtuse angle we are considering second quadrant. Now my dear student, I hope you all know that in first quadrant all the trigonometry ratios is positive. So in first quadrant, if all becomes positive, then cos theta is also positive, and in second quadrant all sin theta is positive, so cos theta in second quadrant is negative. So what it implies, this formation implies that if I am talking about acute angle, then acute angle means theta must be less than 90. And if theta is less than 90, it implies that we are talking about first quadrant. Similarly, if theta is greater than 90, it is considered to be obtuse angle. Then in that case, we'll say we are talking about second quadrant. And remember my dear student, in first quadrant cos theta is positive and in second quadrant cos theta is negative. Now come to our concept, which is dot product. So I am saying that we discussed that dot product of two vector is A vector dot B vector is equals to magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector, and cos theta, where theta is angle between A vector and B vector. In previous cases, we'll discuss that if theta changes, then the result of dot product also be changed. So we'll say that dot product depends on angle between two vectors. I'll write here in form of note, dot product between two vectors depend on angle between them. I hope you all are understanding this point, that dot product between two vectors depends on angle between the vectors. It is A vector and B vector. So my dear student, let's suppose case 4. If theta is less than 90, what it means beta? Theta means angle between A vector and B vector. So I'll write, if angle between A vector and B vector are acute, and we know that acute means theta is less than 90. If angle is acute, then we know that cos theta becomes positive. So if angle is acute, it implies cos theta is positive, which implies A vector dot B vector is also becomes positive because cos theta A vector dot B vector depends on cos theta. So if cos theta is positive, then dot product 2 vector is also positive. And if dot product of 2 vector is negative, then if dot product angle between 2 vector is negative, then dot product is also negative. So moving forward, so remember this thing beta, for all acute angle, dot product between two vectors give you positive result. Write down, for all acute angle, dot product of for all acute angle, dot product, result of dot product is always positive. Result of dot product is always positive. Moving forward, if next case is case 5, if two vectors form angle greater than 90, my dear student, greater than 90 means second quadrant, and we know that for second quadrant we will say obtuse angle. So for obtuse angle, we are talking about obtuse angle, my dear student. So we know that for obtuse angle cos theta is negative because it lies in second quadrant, and we know that second quadrant only sine is positive and sine to cosec is positive. Cos theta is negative. So we'll say A vector dot B vector is equals to magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector, and cos theta. So for obtuse angle we know that cos theta becomes negative. It implies A dot B is also negative. So write down in form of note, for all obtuse angle dot product of two vectors is always negative. So remember, my dear student, this is all about dot product of two vector. If angle between two vectors are acute, then their dot product is positive. If angle between two vectors are obtuse, then their dot product is negative. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then their dot product is 0. If parallel to each other, then dot product is maximum positive. If opposite to each other, then dot product between two vector is negative maximum. So this is all about dot product information. Now moving forward, some formula is there. If you will perform dot product between two similar unit vectors, I'll write here dot product between two similar unit vectors, dot product between two similar unit vectors, that is I cap dot I cap. Remember, the result is 1. Similarly, j cap dot j cap, result will get 1. K cap dot k cap, you will get 1. But if we'll perform dot product between two different unit vectors, I'll write here dot product between two different unit vector, that is either you will perform I dot j, it is 0, I dot k, it is again 0, or we can say j dot k, it is again 0. So remember this thing, my dear student, if you will perform dot product between two similar unit vector, the result is 1, and if you will perform dot product between two different unit vectors, then result is 0. I hope you all are understanding my point. So moving forward, let us do an example for understanding more about dot product. Remember, I dot I is 1, j dot j is 1, and k dot k is also 1. But I dot j is 0, j dot k is 0, and k dot I is also equals to 0. See, I am explaining this dot product by doing a question. Let's suppose we have a vector is equals to 2i cap plus 2j cap plus 3k cap, and b vector is equals to, let's say, I cap plus 2j cap plus 3k cap. Now we wish to find dot product between a vector and b vector. So my dear student, a vector dot b vector is equals to 2i cap plus 2j cap plus 3k cap dot I cap plus 2j cap plus 3k cap. Now see, dear student, I'll already tell you I dot I 1, but when you will perform I dot j, it is equals to 0. Similarly, I dot k is also equals to 0. So when we are dealing with dot product, then result is with only with two similar unit vectors. See, I dot I 1 and nothing is there, then we'll consider it 1. So I'll write here 2 into 1, and I dot I is 1 plus I dot j 0, I dot k 0. So I term will be completed. Now j dot I 0, j dot j 1. So I'll write 2 into 2. Similarly, j dot k 0. Next, k dot I 0, k dot j 0, but k dot k is 1. So I'll write plus 3 into 3. So 2 plus 4 plus 9, 4 or 2 6, 9 1 10, 14 15. So answer is 15 units. Now see, 15 is scalar quantity and we have two vector quantities, but when we are performing dot product between two vector quantities, you will get a scalar term. So this is all about dot product. Now see, one more question I am asking. Let's suppose we have two forces which is acting on body. Let's suppose we have two forces. Let's say this is our one force and its magnitude is 4 Newton, and other force, its magnitude is, let's suppose, 2 Newton, and they are perpendicular to each other, let's suppose 90 degree. They are asking that find the dot product of two forces, because forces are vector quantity. So we know that a vector dot b vector is equals to magnitude of a vector, magnitude of b vector, and cos theta. So f1 dot f2 is equals to magnitude of f1. So magnitude of f1 is 4, multiply magnitude of f2 is 2, and between them angle is 90 degree, cos 90 0. So we will say if two forces are perpendicular to each other, then their dot product is equals to 0. I hope you all understand how to deal with dot product. Now we are moving forward with scalar vector product, or we can say cross product. So write down the new product rule. It is cross product of two vectors. Write down cross product of two vectors. 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 Now see, my dear student, cross product is also called scalar product. Vector product. Vector product. Why it is called vector product? Because if you'll perform cross product between two vector, then you'll get result in form of vector. So I'll write here, if V performs cross product between two vectors, we will get result in form of vector. That's why we'll say cross product to be vector product. Now see my dear student, consider two vector A vector and B vector. Let we have A vector and B vector lies in plane. Let's suppose this is our A vector and this is our B vector. So A cross B. A vector, this is not the symbol of multiplication. Remember my dear student, this is the symbol of product. So A vector cross B vector is equals to magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector and sine theta. Remember this thing. Magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector and sine theta, where theta is angle between A vector and B vector, where theta is angle between A vector and B vector. I hope you all are understanding my point. This is how we'll proceed with, cross product. So A vector cross B vector is magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector and sine theta, where theta is angle between A vector and B vector. Theta is angle between A vector and B vector. Now see my dear student, we are dealing with special case. Write down case first. If two vectors are in same direction, if two vectors are in same direction, if two vectors are in same direction, if two vectors are in same direction. So if two vectors are in same direction, it implies, let's suppose this is our A vector and this is our B vector. Both the vectors are lies in same direction. So we know that for same direction, the angle between A vector and B vector is 0 degree. So it is A vector cross B vector is equals to magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector, and it is sine 0. So sine 0 is, my dear student, 0. So A cross B is 0. It is very important. Sine 90 is 1, but sine 0 is cos 0 is 1, but sine 0 is 0. Cos 90 is 0, but sine 90 is 1. So if two vectors are in same direction, then their cross product, or we can say then their vector product, is equals to 0. Now moving forward, I am discussing case 2. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, my dear student, let's suppose this is our A vector, this is our B vector, and both the vectors are perpendicular to each other. So if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then we know that theta becomes equals to 90 degree. So A vector cross B vector is equals to magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector and sine theta. We know that if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then angle between them is 90 degree. So it is A vector cross B vector is equals to magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector, sine 90. Sine 90 is 1, my dear students. So A vector cross B vector is magnitude of A vector and magnitude of B vector. Let's suppose magnitude of A vector is A and magnitude of B vector is B. So I'll write A vector cross B vector is equals to AB. This is how we'll proceed with cross product. See, in dot product, if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then it is equals to 0. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then cross product give you maximum value, my dear student. And if parallel, then it gives minimum value. So write down in form of note, if two vectors, write down, if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then their cross product is maximum, and if two vectors are parallel to each other, then their cross product is minimum, 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 then their cross product is minimum. So cross product between two vector and dot product between two vector. Dot product is also called scalar product, because if you will perform between two vector dot product, then you will get result in form of scalar quantity. Similarly, if you will perform cross product between two vector, you will get result in form of vector. That's why cross product is considered to be vector and dot product is considered to be scalar. So I hope, dear student, you all understand the basic structure of vector. Till here vector is not completed. We'll discuss more about vector, more about vector's law and their questions in chapter motion in plane. So this is all about vector basic. This is basic vector. We are from 5 days we are discussing only about basic vector, so that you will understand motion in straight line and projectile motion. So once we'll completed motion in straight line and projectile motion, we'll come back with vector again and discussing some laws. Hardly we have more in vector, we have hardly 2 or 3 lecture more, in which we will discuss all about laws of vector. There are lots of laws related to vector. So in that chapter we will discuss about laws of vector. So till now this is all about vector. From next class we'll start with motion in straight line. So thank you so much, dear student, with connecting with us. Stay home, stay safe, take care. Thank you so much.